Every time they called her beautiful, her mother screamed in pain. They thought it was a blessing. They didn't know it was a debt. The night Amara was born, the moon refused to hide. It hung low over the village of Mwaba, bold and unblinking, washing mud houses and palm trees in silver light. Old women whispered that the moon only watched that closely when destiny was changing its clothes. Inside a small hut at the edge of the village, Mama Kem screamed through her final push. Sweat soaked her wrapper. Her fingers clawed the mat as the baby slid into the midwife's hands with a loud, angry cry. But that cry wasn't what made everyone gasp. It was the child's face. Smooth, perfect, glowing, like she had been carved by a patient god on a day. He was in a very good mood. "She's too fine," one midwife whispered, almost afraid. "A child like this will not walk through life quietly." Mama Kem laughed weakly, pulling the baby to her chest. "Does love for my child not count for something?" she said. "If beauty has a price, I will pay it." She didn't beg God for such a child. And the price did not wait long. The first time someone praised Amara openly, it seemed harmless. One afternoon at the stream, Amara bent to lift her clay pot. Sunlight touched her face, and a woman from the next village froze mid-step. "Chai," the woman breathed. "Whose daughter is this? Such beauty. Your mother must be proud." Women nodded. Girls stared. Amara blushed, mumbled a shy greeting and hurried home, embarrassed but secretly warm inside. That night, Mama Kem's back began to ache. At first she blamed the farm. She rubbed palm oil, swallowed bitter herbs and lay down early. But by midnight, the pain spread like fire, crawling up her spine, pressing hard on her chest. Her breath shortened. Her fingers went cold. "Mama," Amara whispered in the dark. "What is it?" Mama Kem forced a smile. "It's nothing, my child." Old bones complaining. But her eyes shone with tears she couldn't explain. By morning the pain vanished. No fever, no cough, no trace. Only a strange weakness in her legs as she swept the compound. That same morning 3 women stopped Amara on the road. "You are growing into a woman," one said. "Your beauty will open doors your feet have never walked," another added. "Your mother will soon start enjoying when suitors come," the third laughed. At that exact moment, Mama Kem's broom slipped from her hand. A sharp pain stabbed her chest, so suddenly she had to grab the wall to stay upright. Her smile faded. A cold thought slid into her mind like smoke. "Is this how it starts?" She said nothing. She picked up the broom and swept slowly, as if sweeping fear out of the compound. Years passed. Amara's beauty did not soften, it grew wild. By 18, she was the kind of woman songs were written about. Men who had never greeted Mama Kem now bowed deeply when they passed. Boys fetched water they didn't need just to cross paths with Amara. And with every careless compliment, something inside Mama Kem bent. When market women chorused, "Amara, you are shining today." That night, Mama Kem's joints swelled until she couldn't stand. When young men laughed and said, "If beauty was passing, it would be you," Mama Kem's vision blurred for hours, and plates slipped from her hands like her fingers no longer belonged to her. She hid it. She bit her lip through the pain whenever Amara was watching. One night, as rain beat hard against the roof, Mama Kem called her daughter close. "Listen to me," she said, her voice weak but sharp. "When people praise you, don't smile too wide. Don't soak it in." Amara frowned. "Mama, you're just tired." Mama Kem shook her head slowly. "Beauty is sweet," she whispered. "But it eats something in return." "You work too hard," Amara said softly. "What does my face have to do with your knees?" Mama Kem closed her eyes. She wanted to say everything. "Every time they call you beautiful, it cuts me where you cannot see." But fear wrapped around her words. She would not plant guilt inside her daughter's heart. Instead, she whispered, "Promise me you will not chase praise. Let life praise your character, not just your face." "I promise," Amara said, though she did not fully understand. The village did not care about promises. When the king announced that his only son, Prince Somadina, was ready to marry, the entire region shook with excitement. "I seek a wife whose presence alone can silence a room," the town crier proclaimed. "Beauty and grace inside and out." Immediately, the village thought of one name, Amara. On the day of selection, maidens filled the palace square, wrapped in bright fabrics, beads singing against their skin. Laughter floated in the air. Until Amara stepped forward. A hush fell, thick and sudden, as though someone had thrown a cloth over the world. Even the flies seemed to pause. Prince Somedina, standing beside his father, forgot to breathe for a moment. It was not only Amara's beauty that struck him. It was the quiet way she carried herself, like someone who had known pain and learned to walk gently so she would not break anything else. The whispers began softly, then swelled into a tide. Chai see beauty. Her mother is blessed. If the prince does not choose her, his eyes are blind. At the same moment, in a small hut at the edge of the village, Mama Kem knelt alone on a mat, praying. Every time someone somewhere said, "Amara is beautiful," a sharp, invisible nail drove deeper into her body. Her breath came in broken gasps. Her fingers turned cold. "God," she whispered, trembling. "If a sacrifice must be made, take my strength, take my years, but do not let this child suffer." Her heart beat wildly like a drum trying to escape her chest. At the palace, Prince Somedina stepped forward. "I have seen many faces," he said slowly, his eyes fixed on Amara. "But one has silenced my spirit." He turned to the crowd. "Amara, daughter of Mama Kem, step forward." The square exploded. Drums thundered. Women ululated. Men shouted. Children leapt with joy. Compliments flew like birds released from broken cages. "Queen Amara. See how she fits beside him. Her mother's suffering has turned to joy." At that exact moment outside her hut, Mama Kem collapsed. Villagers rushed to her side and carried her to the healer's hut. When Amara returned from the palace, dizzy with shock, fear, and unwanted attention, she found her mother lying on a mat, eyes half open, lips pale. "Mama!" Amara dropped to her knees. "Mama, talk to me. Please." Mama Kem managed a weak smile. "So the prince chose you." Tears streamed down Amara's face. "Yes. But what does that matter if you are like this? I will tell him no. I don't care about the palace. I just want you." The healer, an old woman with eyes that had seen too many endings, watched them quietly. She had heard the whispers for years. She had seen patterns others chose to ignore. She cleared her throat. "You never told the girl, did you?" Mama Kem swallowed. "What would I say? That every time the world calls her beautiful, it drags me closer to my grave? Should I make her hate the face God gave her?" The healer sighed, already knowing the answer. She turned to Amara. "Listen carefully. When you were born, your grandmother came to me. A spirit spoke to her in a dream." The room went still. The spirit said, "This child will have two faces, one for the world and one for her mother. The more the world loves one, the more the other will suffer." Amara's heart stopped. "Hide her beauty," the healer continued softly. "Protect her mother." Amara whispered. "Hide my beauty how?" "By refusing praise," the healer said. "By avoiding places where people gather only to look. By making your life so ordinary that your face becomes background, not headline." Silence swallowed the hut, and for the first time in her life, Amara wished the world had never learned her name. Amara thought of the palace, the prince, the way the entire village had screamed when her name was called. Her stomach twisted. "We didn't hide it," she whispered. "We did the opposite." The healer nodded sadly. "And your mother's body has been paying the debt." Silence settled in the hut, thick, heavy, suffocating. That night, while drums and dancing shook the village outside, the healer gave Amara a choice. "If you marry the prince," she said, "your name will travel far beyond this land. Songs will be sung about your face. Praise will pour over you like rain in the rainy season." She paused. "The debt your mother pays will triple." Amara's eyes widened. "So if I become queen, my beauty will kill her." The healer looked at Mama Kim's frail body, the skin once bright now dulled, the hands thin and trembling. "Sometimes," she said quietly, "beauty is not a blessing. It is a test." Understanding struck Amara like lightning. All the years, all the pain, every compliment followed by suffering, the pattern had always been there. She had only refused to see it. "There is one more thing," the healer whispered, leaning closer. "The spirit promised the curse would break if just once. You chose your mother's life over the world's admiration. Not in secret," she added. "In public, where praise cannot follow you." "How?" Amara's voice cracked. Reject the crown, the healer said. Refuse the prince in front of everyone. Choose a life that makes them stop talking about how you look and start talking about how strange you are. Amara's heart thundered. To reject a prince, to throw away a crown others would kill for, to turn her beauty into something mocked. The healer's eyes softened. Sometimes the only way to break a curse, she said, is to break people's expectations. The next morning the palace square filled again. The king sat on his golden throne. Prince Somedina stood beside him, eyes searching the crowd for the girl who had haunted his thoughts all night. Drums beat slowly. The air tasted of anticipation. Amara walked into the square wearing the simplest wrapper she owned. No beads, no oil, no earrings, just her bare face. Still beautiful no matter how she tried to hide it. The crowd erupted. Our queen! Her beauty alone can bring riches to the kingdom. Amara swallowed. Her hands trembled, but her feet carried her forward. Prince Somedina smiled. Amara, he said warmly, stand beside me. Let us begin the rites. She took a deep breath. Choose your mother's life over the world's admiration. She knelt, not beside him but before the king. My king, she said clearly, I cannot marry your son. Silence crashed over the square. The king blinked. What did you say? I cannot marry your son, Amara repeated. If I do, my mother will die. Gasps spread like fire. My beauty is not free, she continued. Every praise poured on me becomes pain in her body. I will not stand on a balcony smiling while my mother's bones break in the dark. Voices erupted. She's mad. How can someone refuse a prince? Prince Somedina stepped forward, confused and hurt. Amara, if this is fear. It is not fear, she said softly. It is debt. And I will not let her pay it anymore. Then she did the unthinkable. She reached for a guard's knife, lifted a lock of her long beloved hair, and cut it off. Gasps exploded. The glossy strands fell to the dust like pieces of a crown torn apart. If my beauty must hurt someone, Amara said, tears streaming, let it hurt me. Let them mock me. Let them say I wasted my chance. Better that, she said, voice breaking, than for every compliment to be a wound in my mother's flesh. She did not look ugly, but she no longer looked like a goddess. She looked human, ordinary, brave. A voice rose from the back of the crowd. Enough. The healer stepped forward. Years ago, she said, this village made a trade without knowing. You fed this girl's beauty with your words, and gave her mother sickness in return. You praised the fruit, she said, and starved the tree. As her words fell, warmth surged through Amara's body like sunlight. At the same moment Mama Kim sat upright in the healer's hut, pain slipping from her bones like a thief fleeing the night. She laughed and cried together. It's gone, she whispered. The pain is gone. Shame settled over the crowd. The healer turned to Amara. Your sacrifice has broken the chain, she said gently. From today your beauty belongs to you alone. Prince Somedina stepped down and knelt before Amara. I am not in love with your face, he said quietly. I am in awe of your heart. The whispers changed. She chose her mother. This is beyond beauty. Amara stood. My life will no longer be a show, she said. If I ever stand beside you, it will be because my story is known, not just my skin. The king rose. Let it be so, he declared. A girl who values her mother's life over a crown will never be forced into one. Amara walked home without jewels, without songs. At the edge of the village, Mama Kim stood waiting, upright, strong, smiling. They ran into each other's arms. Do you regret it? Mama Kim asked quietly. Amara shook her head. Let them keep their crown, she said. I already have the only title that matters. Your daughter. Every village has that one girl everyone calls beautiful. But what if every compliment hurts the woman who gave her life? If you had to choose between admiration and love, which would you choose?